Now over to you, Rayo. You were the underdog going into that fight against Isak Cruz. And many people were surprised when you won that fight and the way you won it and how you controlled the entirety of that fight. Um, do you feel like you will get overlooked by people, especially at 140 pounds, or do you feel like you get disrespected because people talk about the Haneys, the Ryan Garcias, the Tanks, the Teofimos? What is it about that now you're a world champion in this division with those guys? People should be talking more about Rayo. What do you have to say to that?
Right. I don't know. I can't speak for them, but be a lot of many different reasons. I'm a headache for anybody. At the end of the day, I think stylistically, I match up nicely with everybody. Being 5'10", strong, fast. Uh, so they're not gonna want to talk about me. They're gonna move. They're gonna look for bigger fights. Move up to 147 or whatever they're doing. But I'm not too worried about that. I got a tough competitor in front of me, and I'm fully focused on him and getting the job done.
Gary, first question to you. I know that you spoke a little bit earlier about some of the things that you wish that you could have did and changed in that last fight. But going into the fight with Rayo, do you feel that, Rayo brings a style that's more difficult or a style that benefits you more? In other words, a tougher fight, or a more beneficial fight?
To answer that, I want to say no one fights the same. Like I said before, with some of the things that define a true champion and professional, you have to have a sense of adversity. You got to be flexible. Versatility is one of the main key factors that a fighter has to have. Rayo, he's shorter. I feel like he's more craftier than Puello. So he's gonna force me to use a little different type of movements that I had to use with Alberto Puello. Alberto Puello, he's a taller, longer fighter. He tries his best to stay on the outside and he keeps his opponent there. He's not an inside banger or brawler. So with that type of fighter, I have to use different type of tools and things and become victorious in a different form of fashion. Rayo, I feel like he isn't a style that will be more suitable for me, but I do believe that he has a style that will make the fight more entertaining versus me chasing a person around the ring like a chicken.
So my second question to you before I get to Rayo is, you spoke a little bit that you would like to unify if you get the victory. Is it ultimately, if it was presented to you, would it be to unify with Puello, or if there was an offer to maybe fight some of your peers like Duran or the Rayo or Rolly, some of the guys with big names, would that interest you a little bit more, or the rematch is more interesting?
Definitely the rematch is more interesting because I feel like that's a personal thing. That's something that's personal to me right there. I got to get that back. I don't care if I become undisputed. After I become undisputed, if he's still participating in this sport, I will call him out.
Awesome. And Ryle, I want to switch to you. Appreciate you, Gary, for answering the questions. I spoke with Pitbull, and I wouldn't agree with his take, but he said he didn't take the rematch because he felt that the fight with you would be considered a little boring. Obviously, I know fight fans differ from that. Would you say that fighting Gary in this case is better? Do you like this fight? Would you say this is a better and tougher competition than after fighting Pitbull?
Yeah, I like it better stylistically. Fighting a guy like Pitbull, I'll get the job done, but it's uncomfortable. It's hard for me to get leverage too when I'm on my toes. And stylistically, I like where Gary stands with his height and just everything about this fight. It's gonna open more shots up for me. So I'm excited.
Awesome. And my last question is, we spoke a little bit about it earlier, but it seems like you do get a little disrespected. And I know that you can't get down to 135, but if it was presented for you to maybe fight Ryan and Rolly or even like T.O., who you sparred, or guys up there. Would you take that, or are you staying at 140 for a while?
Yeah, I would take a fight with Teofimo Lopez
Yeah.
or Ryan or those guys. I know I could compete with them. Like you said, I've been in there with him, so it'd be a great show, great exciting fight for the fans, and but first thing is first. I got to give my opponent his respect, and March 1st, I'm fully focused on him.